Hey guys, and welcome to Book Therapy. This is my third video up on my YouTube channel, and today I actually want to talk to you about a movie, or book-to-movie adaptation. I finished reading Insurgent a couple weeks ago, and I really wanted to do a video for you guys about it, but I realized I have not talked to you about the Divergent. So, with the new movie coming out, I figured I would just do a review on the movie. And there will be spoilers in this, so if you have not seen the movie, please leave now. I don't want to ruin it for you. But if you're the type of person that doesn't really care about spoilers, then please stay and listen to my review. I'm just going to be talking about some of my favorite scenes and giving you kind of an outline of the movie. One of my favorite scenes, of course, is the choosing day, the simulation that the first simulation that Triss goes under. And they did a wonderful job with this scene. I mean, it was exactly how I pictured it in the book. I was so impressed how close they filmed this to the book. I mean, of course there was changes, especially in the ending there was changes, but they filmed this movie so close to the book. I was super happy when I seen it. I was not disappointed in the least. And, of course, another one of my favorite scenes is Triss becoming dauntless. Now, we know that Triss is divergent, and the simulation that she went under on choosing day was supposed to tell her what to do because she is confused. She doesn't feel that she belongs in abnegation because she is not selfless, and she knows that, and she's so confused, but she doesn't want to hurt her parents, so the test was supposed to tell her what to do, and the test did not. The test told her that she could be dauntless, abnegation, or erudite. And she is so confused because she doesn't know what to do. She thought the test would give her one answer, and that's what she would do. But she chooses dauntless. Yes. She chooses dauntless, even though that probably wasn't the best choice to stay low since she's a divergent. But it was the best choice for Triss because Triss is dauntless. She is divergent, but she belongs in dauntless just as much as she belongs in abnegation and all that. But she chooses dauntless, and she really has something to prove. She has something to prove. She has to prove herself because she's what they call a stiff. They call her stiff because she's from abnegation, and she is the only member of abnegation that chooses dauntless on that choosing day. So, she is that leads to one of my other favorite scenes is Triss being the first jumper. They also did this exactly how I imagined it in the book. And, you know, Triss volunteers to be the first jumper, and she jumps off this building into a black pit, and she has no idea what's at the bottom of it, but she jumps. All power to her, because I probably would have not been the first jumper. I definitely would have chickened out. But that proves that Triss is brave. I mean, and she does have a lot to prove to these people. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, I didn't really like. I did not like this, and I understand why they probably couldn't talk about it really in the movie, and that is Triss and relationship with Al. Triss's relationship with Al. In the book, they show that Al has a crush on Triss, and you know, but Triss doesn't return Al's feelings, and, you know, in the movie, you know that Christina and Will and Al and Triss are all friends. They show you a little bit of that, but they don't envelop in it. They don't show you Triss and Al's close relationship, and that is a big key to Al's betrayal. Why that hurt Triss so much. Why she was so upset with Al. I mean, not only that did he try to kill her, of course, but, you know, he broke her heart. That was one of her best friends, and she trusted Al completely, and he betrayed her. And they don't really show how upset Al was about, you know, not being in the top of the Dauntless and that he didn't want to fight anybody. They didn't develop in any of that. And that's part of why Al killed himself, because he was so depressed. He wanted to go home, but he couldn't. I mean, he didn't belong in Dauntless. They didn't really show that. And I was a little disappointed in that. But moving on. Another one of my this is my all-time favorite scene. This is my number one favorite scene, and that is the scene where they do the flag wars. I call it the flag wars. But it's the part in the book where they go and they load paintball guns and they shoot each other with paintball guns, you know, trying to get the other team's flag. And I loved, some people probably didn't, but I loved that they didn't use paintballs. They used, like, these fake bullets that are like darts, but when you shoot the person, it feels like a real bullet hit you for a few minutes. And the reason why I loved that was because Triss shoots Eric, and that was my favorite part of the whole movie, was when Triss shot Eric, and then Christina comes up right behind Triss and shoots Eric again. Because we all know Eric deserved that and way more, which he will get. He will get what's coming to him. That's all I'm going to say. Another one of my favorite scenes is the fear landscapes. The fear landscapes are exactly how I pictured them also. And the big test with the fear landscapes, where Triss has to go into the fear landscapes under the simulation, and all of Dauntless and Janine and all of them get to see her fears on like a TV screen. And one of her fears happens to be getting physical sexually with Four. I probably would have died of embarrassment, because that was I felt so bad for her. My cheeks probably got red. I mean, it was embarrassing is what it was, and I probably would have died of embarrassment, like I said, because yeah. Moving on. I also, you know, at the ending where Dauntless is put up under the simulation by Erudite. Erudite is controlling them, and they're under a simulation, but they start to drag the abnegation out of their houses and are going to start killing them. And, you know, Triss and Four are divergent. If you have not read the books while you're watching this movie, you don't know that Four is divergent also. And on the train to the abnegation part of the city, Triss starts to edge her way up to Four. And when she gets to Four, he doesn't really do anything. So you kind of wonder, oh my God, is he under the simulation? But no. He grabs her hand, and that is just like that moment. You know, she's not alone. She's not going through this alone. And you're really happy about that. Well, of course they get caught. Of course, they get caught. Triss gets shot in the shoulder. She is about to be killed on Janine's orders. Four is taken away. He is going to be put up under the simulation, a Divergent-proof simulation. And, you know, Triss is about to get shot in the head, and her mom comes and saves the day. And, you know, that was that, yes, badass, go mom moment. And, of course, we know her mom was Divergent. She was in Dauntless, but she moved to Abnegation to hide, which Triss should have did. Just saying. But then she wouldn't be able to save the day when the Erudite took over. So, yay. Anyway, her mom, while saving Triss, gets shot and dies. And that's a really sad part of the movie. You know, I could not imagine, and Triss does this also when her dad gets killed. She pushes that emotion back and she does what she has to do, and I don't think I could do that. I would probably break. But, you know, Triss is that strong girl, and she just pushes it back, and she moves on for right now, and does what she has to do to save her people, her faction, and abnegation, both of her factions. They're still both her factions. And she makes it to her dad, but on the way there, she shoots and kills Will. Now, Will is up under the simulation like all the other Dauntless, and I don't like how in the movie she tries to talk Will out of it, because in the book she did not do that. She did not want to shoot Will. It was just a reaction. She knew somebody was there. She turned and shot, and it just happened to be Will. And I didn't like how she tried to talk him out of it, because he couldn't be talked out of it. And that just kind of makes you, I don't know, it just makes me feel worse about the whole situation. You know, at least you know she didn't necessarily mean to in the book, but, you know, and she didn't have a choice either way, but it just kind of made it seem worse to me. I didn't like it. And, of course, you know, she makes it to her dad, and Caleb is there, which is her brother, and they go, Caleb, Triss's dad, and Triss and Marcus, which is Four's dad, goes to Dauntless headquarters. And, you know, this is different from the book because the Erudite are there. In the book, you know, in the control room, it's just Four, but it's not just Four in the movie, and Janine is actually there, and she wasn't there in the book. But, you know, Triss tries to wake Four, and this is another one of my favorite scenes, of course. Triss tries to wake Four, and Four, of course, is under the simulation and is trying to kill Triss, because it's like his friends are his enemies, and his enemies are his friends in the simulation. So he starts to beat her, and she will not fight him back. She does not, or she does fight him back, but she does not want to kill Four, of course, because she loves Four. And she gets a gun and points it to her head, and of course Four takes the gun and is also pointing it to her head, and she just says, "It's okay, I love you, it's okay, I love you." And in the book, she doesn't say "I love you" at this part, I'm pretty sure, but, because "I love you" is a pretty big deal for both her and Four, because they're so abnegationist, you know, they don't really show much emotion besides selflessness. I mean, but she says "I love you," and he wakes up, and he sees her, and, you know, they take down the rest of the Erudite in the room except for Janine, and Triss tries to get Janine to shut down the simulation, and Janine refuses, of course, because she's a bitch. Well, Triss throws a knife at Janine's hand, and it sticks to the screen of the computer thing, and that is the most badass moment of the whole movie, when she throws that knife and sticks Janine's hand. Crazy. You're like, go girl, go. But anyway, Janine still refuses to shut down the simulation. She's willing to die for this. So Four and Triss stick her with the simulation, and of course she has to do what they say. So she tells Janine to shut down the simulation, and Janine does it, and erases the whole simulation, and they win. They could have easily killed her at that point, but they acted like as if they didn't have enough time, so they left. And at the very end of the movie, they're on a train. Of course, it's just Caleb and Triss and Four and Marcus and Peter, because she shoots Peter. And I gotta say, I was not really convinced that they chose the best Peter for the movie. Was not really convinced at all. But he played a awesome Peter, because I really wanted to punch him in the throat. Hated him, which is, you know, you're supposed to hate him at this point. And they chose good. They knew what they were doing. But anyway, you know, her dad gets killed while invading Dauntless. And she just, she tells Ford, my parents died today. It's kind of that reflecting moment where she's looking back on the day and, where she can kind of have those emotions return to her, and Caleb is upset. Caleb's all she has left of her family, and her parents died to help her. And it was, guys, it was a great movie. It was totally great. I mean, it was awesome. Awesome. They did a wonderful job, and I was so happy with it. I give it 2 thumbs up because it was amazing. I mean, I was kind of worried about how they would do it, how much they would put in it from the book, but they did an amazing job, and I just so impressed. So that's all I have for right now. I will be making another video right after this one for the Insurgent book review. And please watch it as well, guys, please. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, well, sorry. But anyway, if you like my channel, please subscribe to it. And I will see you guys all in just a second. Bye, guys.